Hey everyone, and welcome back to That Said. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. So I just want to get right to it. What happened to Virginia Foray? What happened to her? Because it seemed like there's a pattern going on when victims come forward to their accuser, they end up dead, unalive, disappeared, or God knows what. And I need to know, the public need to know what happened to her. Now I know what the parents are saying in their statement that they found their daughter committed suicide. I don't believe it, to be honest with you. I'm calling BS. I don't believe it. I just feel like it's just so weird. It's I don't know if it's just a cover up or a coincidence. I'm not quite sure. It's just very weird and very odd. And were they warning signs against her? Were there warning signs? Because as you know, that she was in a bizarre bus accident in Australia and landed her to the hospital. She had so many issues, renal failure. The doctor told her she had 4 days to live, and it was really bad. But if you saw the photos, which I did share with you in my last video, the woman looked like she was beat up. Okay, it's possible that she was in a major a bus accident can do that. But I heard from reporters that it was just a small fender bender. It was nothing crazy. So could that be true? I don't know. Or did someone really rough her up or seem like she was in trouble because she knew too much and someone trying to shut her up or shut other people up who were involved in the Jeffrey Epstein, the victims, for them not to speak, for them not to come forward? Because she was very advocate of she was basic advocate and the face of of Jeffrey Epstein, accusing him of sexually abuse and also sex trafficking her as well. And she dedicated her whole life, 11 years, fighting for sexual abuse. Pardon me. And for a woman like that, and done interviews, she seemed very strong, headstrong. And for me to believe that she committed suicide at the age of 41 because she couldn't take it. Now, is it possible because of the pain and suffering that she went through with this allegedly bus accident? It's possible. It's possible. But I believe that someone got to her, someone roughed her up to shut her up. That's what I believe, and to shut other victims up so they won't speak or come forward. Because she was the only one who was very advocate about it. The other victims, they did, documentaries and stuff like that, but then you haven't heard from them at all. But with Virginia, she was very vocal about her situation, very vocal about survivors, victim survivors. And it just, my heart breaks that, the parents are going through this, her children, her husband, her friends. And I just can't see myself, this woman who fought so hard to put her voice out there, and she was a public figure for abuse victims, abuse survivors as well, that she would just take her own life at the age of 41. That's hard for me to believe and hard for me to comprehend. Excuse me, that's the word I'm trying to get. And I just don't buy it. I don't. I'm calling it. I'm calling bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm calling it out, and I just don't believe it. Maybe I believe someone hurt her, um, and she did not hurt herself. That's what I believe. I believe someone hurt her, and she did not hurt herself. And when you have like people, profile elites who's very wealthy and know people, they have connections, you guys. They have connections to shut you up, to pay you out, for you not to speak anymore. And those elites, they get away with it because only two people were kind of accountable for their action. Jeffrey Epstein, who died in 2019, I don't believe it was a suicide. He was murdered in 2019 in his prison cell or his jail cell. And then Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving, let me get this right, who's serving 20 years for sex trafficking and other crimes. Those are the only two. Where are the rest? Because I believe there's more people, more men involved in this, but they're not, they're nowhere to be found. There are more men, you guys, that's out there that was involved in this sex trafficking ring. It can't be these two. Okay, I don't believe for a second that Jeffrey Epstein was the head of the snake. There was someone else the head of the snake of this. Not only Jeffrey Epstein, there was other people, other men involved in this operation, and we will never know. We will never know the truth because Pam Bondi, she's not releasing any information, and it's been months, nothing, just for only just flight logs. No one doesn't care about the flight logs. Everyone knows about the flight logs. We need to know the names. You need to identify the names of the people that were involved in this. And no, we will never know, you guys. I'm sorry to say, we will never know. That this is like a closed cold case of Jeffrey Epstein. This has been happening over a decade, and we still don't know the truth. We still don't know. We still don't have people accountable for all this, which is just so mind-boggling to me. And if anyone don't remember who Virginia is, I'm going to show you a picture of her. Beautiful, beautiful woman, 41, 3 children, married, gone, and alive. So they're saying, the parents are saying it's a suicide. Now, I don't believe it for a second, unless there is an autopsy report, a medical examiner can say that she unalived herself, then I will believe it. But it's just such a weird coincidence. It is. It's just weird that she's no longer here. I believe it was a cover up. I believe there's more to it in this because none of it makes sense. It's just so bizarre, you guys. And you have to see this. I'm not telling you to take my word for it. Obviously, do your investigation and do your research. But I'm telling you of my perspective and my thoughts. Something's not right. Something's not adding up. Something doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to go with my gut instincts. And my gut instincts never tells me the wrong way. Stirs me wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to read to you a few things that to give you a little bit of background of Virginia. And the first thing, Virginia, those stories about being trafficking by Jeffrey Epstein as a teenager put her in the center of one of the most biggest sex scandals in history and fighting for her life following a car accident in Australia. Virginia, 41, on Sunday posted a graphic photo of herself from her hospital bed, covering in bruises, on Instagram, where she wrote doctors and said she had 4 days to live, according to the post, which was first published by British media. Now, like I mentioned to you, this bizarre bus accident that landed her to the hospital, and the doctor told her that she only has 4 days to live. She gone into kidney renal failure. She said they given her, like I said, 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist in urology, and I'm ready to go. She was ready to go to die, and she just wanted to see her babies one last time before she, no longer on this earth. Now, I just want to give you a little backstory of her upbringings, where she grew up. So she was born in Sacramento, California, had been sexually abused since she was a child. She is a daughter of Lynn and Sky William Roberts, who wrote on social media that he was praying for his daughter's recovery. When she was in grade school, the family moved to Lochahatchee, Florida at age 7. She was first molested by a family friend. The abuse, she said, turned my entire life around, changed everything. Continuing on. Okay, she was 14 when she was picked up on the street of Miami by the owner of the modeling agency and began trafficking her. After his arrest, she returned home to Lochahatchee and began working at a Mar-a-Lago at Palm Beach Country Club owned by President Trump, where her father was a maintenance supervisor. And in 2000, when she was 16, she met Maxwell, Epstein's partner, while working on a spa attendant at the club. Virginia, who used the nickname Gina, was introduced by Maxwell to Epstein, who sexually abused and trafficked her for years. Okay. Then the next, it says, Hopefully I'm in the right page. Sorry, you guys. I want to make sure. There we go. Among the people who said she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew, whom she later sued, the suit was settled in 2022 for an unclosed sum, said in the millions. Through Andrew denying that he was not involved with Virginia, he was last stripped of his military title and royal proteges. Yeah. I have to say, which I didn't have the chance to pull up the picture of young Prince Andrew, and at the time, Virginia was 17. A photograph of him, Prince Andrew, with Virginia, holding her, having his hand around her waist, and you have Maxwell in the background. Now, for someone to say they had no relation or they don't remember, there's photographs of you with her, okay? Now, maybe you just don't want to criminalize yourself because you were messing around with an underage teenager girl at the time, but then you settle. You did an unclosed settlement, which I can tell you the dollar amount. He settled with her for 12 million pounds. Now, if you proclaim your innocence, and you've been proclaiming your innocence for how many years, and you did an interview saying that you didn't do anything wrong, you don't remember being with her, why would you settle? If you're really innocent, why would you settle? Why would you settle 12 million pounds if you didn't do anything wrong? To me, you're guilty. To me, you did something. And you didn't want the truth to come out because you knew Virginia, what she was saying was true. You knew she would back up her claim. You knew that. And you were afraid that the truth will come out to shame your family because he's from the royals, to shame your family, even though they stripped you from everything. But you didn't want people to know that you were some dirty old man at the time, even though he was young, but still, you're dirty, old, had sex with an underage girl, okay? Could be your daughter. Disgusting. And for someone who don't remember, is it possible? Is it possible that he didn't remember? He doesn't remember. It's possible because of so many other victims that he sexually abused. He probably think all of them look the same. It's possible. It is possible. But I do believe that he did. He did. He did it. He did it. And he was trying to cover his tracks. And sure enough, he settled. For me, if you're innocent, you wouldn't even give a penny. You wouldn't give a penny. You wouldn't settle. You would go to court to fight this until the bitter end. But he was going to go to court, but then he backed down. I guess his advisors, his lawyers told him, listen, this is not going to end well with you, so you might as well settle. However, I'm not saying that I'm guilty because I didn't do anything wrong. There's no accountability. There's no accountability of his actions or anything. And I believe in redemption. I believe that, when you do harm or wrong with someone, you have to take accountability and face it straight on and say that you did this and apologize and move on. Now, she will never get this apology because she's unalive. She's no longer on this earth anymore. The woman that fought so hard for other victims, survivors, including herself, that she's no longer on this earth because I believe someone did something to her. I don't believe it was a suicide. I know what the parents are saying, but you're going to ask me, well, why do you believe, Cheryl, that it was not a suicide? Well, I can tell you very much what she posted before she died, before she was unalive, and I just want to share it to you really quickly. Let me just pull it up. I should have been ready by this, but I'm so sorry. Pull this up, and I should have pulled it up on my thing, but I didn't, so I'm just going to read it to you. And this was dated, because I marked the date when this was posted on her Instagram. Okay, yes, so I have it right here. So this was posted on X on December 10th of 2009. And it clearly says, I am making it public known that in no way, shape, or form I'm suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Excuse me. Too many evil people want to see me quiet. Isn't that true? And that made me believe that this was not a suicide, that someone tried to make it look like a suicide so she won't speak the truth anymore, so she won't say anything. So that's very damaging. Okay, that to me, that's like a smoking gun. And she posted this on December 10th of 2009. Excuse me, 2019, pardon me. And we're in 2025. Now, why would she do that? Obviously she knew in the back of her mind that something may have happened, something was may might happen to her. And you got to keep in mind, you guys, these are elites. These are high, powerful, wealthy people. Okay, that can make things go away. Look what happened to Jeffrey Epstein on 2019. They made it look like it was a suicide, and they unalive him because he knew too much. Like I keep saying, he know so many people that were involved in the sex trafficking ring, and he had the names of the list in the black book, and it was in his one of his what you call it, one of his homes in New York City, which the FBI raided and took it, and we still haven't seen the blacklist. We don't even know the names. So you're trying to tell me these wealthy, powerful, elite people will not shut her up? They did it with Jeffrey Epstein. They probably did it with other survivors. What makes you think they won't do it to her? And and then you go to ask them, well, they could have done it a long time ago. They could have. Yes, you're right, because she's been a public figure for a long time. I said 11 years. They could have got rid of her a long time ago. Why did they wait now? I don't know. That's the mystery that I'm trying to figure out. Unanswered questions that I'm trying to figure out, because they could have took her out a long time ago. They could have took her out the same time they took Jeffrey Epstein out. So why now? That's what I'm saying. Why now? None of it makes sense to me, you guys. None of it makes sense. It doesn't. And I know what the parents are saying, but maybe the parents were scared. Maybe they threatened their parents. Maybe they threatened their parents. You need to read these statements. You need to say that your daughter committed suicide, even though there's no proof of it. And she didn't leave a note. Most people, when they commit suicide, they leave a note. They leave something behind. Jeffrey Epstein, no note. Virginia, no note. Okay? I can honestly believe that her parents were being, what you call it? They were scared. They were threatened for them to make that statement. And I'm going to read to you the statement, what the parents said. Let me just go back. I'm so sorry. So many unanswered questions, and we just don't know what is going on and what really happened. Okay. So the family said her family issued a statement on Saturday confirming that she took her own life at her farm in Western Australia. She had lived for several years. It is with utterly broken hearts that we announced that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, the statement reads. And the end of the toll abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. One of the most vocal victims of Epstein, allegedly she has been groomed and sexually abused by him and longtime associate Maxwell being her team. Now, I'm going to read to you again, okay? And I'm going to pull it up. Whoops, this is the wrong one, sorry. Read to you this again. And the end of the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. Was one of the most vocal victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, obviously, when anybody been abused as a child towards adulthood, of course it's going to affect you. It will never go away. With therapy, support from your family, your friends, your spouse, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. I never been sexually assaulted in my life, so I don't know how it is. But I can just only imagine when someone's been through it at a young age, as she was, and then it happened to her again. it doesn't go away. It's still with you. It's just a matter about how you cope with it and how you deal with that situation. Now she's been very headstrong from the beginning. And you're gonna make me believe and other people believe that she took her life. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And again, I call bullshit on that. I really do. Because I just don't believe that she will leave her babies, her three children, and her husband behind like that. I don't think she would do that. And I don't know her personally, but just the way she spoke and the way she represent herself and the survivors and how she fought to get her name across and saying that she was abused at the age of 17 by these monsters and for her just to like commit suicide. She could have done that a long time ago. Why she didn't do it a long time ago before she got married and had children? Why she didn't unalive herself then? Why wait until 40 years, 41 years later to do it? It doesn't make any sense to me. Again, something does not add up. It really doesn't. And why now? Why unalive her now? Why make it as a suicide? It's beyond me. And I want to get to the bottom of it. And I feel like the parents should get to the bottom of this, but they're probably scared because they were threatened by someone. We don't know. That's just my opinion. This is what I believe, that they were threatened for them to read that statement that their daughter committed suicide, which technically I don't believe that is true. I don't believe that is true. Again, I believe it's just a cover up. It's just too many coincidences, too many holes, and something is just not really adding up, you guys. Something is just not really adding up. And I just want to read to you the last statement before I tell you my last thoughts about this. Oops, this is a long one. Okay. Virginia Giuffre is a survivor by her three children, Christian, Noah, and Emily, who her family said she was the light of her life. It was when she held her newborn daughter in her arms that Virginia released that she will have to fight back against those who had abused her and so many others, they said. There are no words that can express the grave loss we feel today when the passing of our sweet Virginia. She was a heroic and will always be remembered for her incredible courage and loving spirit. I agree. She was brave. She was brave. She stood up. She did not back down. She was the voice, the advocate of survivors, victims, including herself. She did not back down, and she was very courageous, and we should remember her of that because it's not easy to come forward and tell the world what happened to you at the age of 17 when people can just turn around and say that you're a liar. You deserve this. You're making it all up because it's Prince Andrew, it's Jeffrey Epstein, the most high elite people. They couldn't do wrong, and you were just trying to get a payday. When all reality, she was telling the truth. And she didn't care. She knew the backlash when she came forward with it. She knew this, and her attorney advisor too. But her attorney stuck by her and believed her every word that she said, that what happened to her was the truth. And again, there's still no accountability of what happened to her and other people, even though she settled outside of court, but still, no arrests, no one's not going to prison, none of that stuff. And I feel like it's just unjust and it's just not right. And, she is going to be remembered. I know her children are very proud of her, that her mom stood up to those evil people. And, her story should not die in vain. She should not be died in vain because of what happened to her. Again, I don't believe that she's, like I said, I don't think she would leave her children. It even said, I'm going to read it again. Her three children, Christian, Noah, and Emily, who our family said were the light of her life. You think a mother would leave her three children? I would not leave my children if I had children. And there would be absolutely the life of my life. The light of my life. Am I saying? Yeah, the light of my life. And they were the light of her life. Why would she do that? Because she was stressed? It's a possibility she was stressed. with the accident and stuff like that, but not to the point that she would just unalive herself. I'm sorry, I don't buy it at all. I really don't. And obviously it's a mystery. I just hope and pray someone press on this and get to the bottom of the truth, because none of it makes sense to me at all. None of it. And let me know your thoughts. Do you do you think that it's a cover up, or it's just a coincidence that she just, unalived herself? Or do you think that there's more to it than this? Because, again, I don't know. No, nothing's adding up to me. Nothing's adding up to me. I believe more people know what happened to her. They're not saying it. They're saying different stories. Or she was stressed due because of the bus accident. There was probably issues with her marriage. It was a little fender bender. I don't know. There's a lot of things reporting out, but again, none of it makes sense to me. I believe that someone hurt her to shut her up, and it's just weird that they're doing it now. You know what I mean? They could have done it decades ago, and now you're going to get rid of her. Doesn't make sense. And no, I haven't spoken about Jeffrey Epstein case in a long time. Like, let's be serious here. No one haven't talked about it in a very long time. We don't know anything right now. Nothing except for that bogus, half-ass, files that was released a few months ago, which is absolutely nothing in my eye. Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Again, I'm definitely going to look into this more, because unless the medical examiners say that she unalived herself, then okay, I let it go. But until then, I believe something happened to Virginia, because there's no note. I don't believe that she will leave her 3 children behind, because her children were her life. She was very vocal about sexually abuse and sex trafficking. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why she would end her life like that. And the high elites, the what you call it, what's the word I'm trying to say? The high elites and also the high profile people, the wealthy, are getting away with it. They're getting away with it, and they have been getting away with it. And there's no justice for the survivors. Excuse me, because there are survivors. There's no justice. There's no accountability. There's no prison time. Nothing. And they've been getting away with it for a very, very long time, you guys. A very, very long time. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let me know what you think about this whole video. And do you think it's a cover-up or a coincidence? Do you believe that she unalived herself, or someone did something to her? Let me know your comments and what you think. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate each and one of you just listening and watching this video. And thank you so much for watching. That's it. And I will see you guys next time. Take care and God bless. I just want to add one more thing, which I forgot to add in my video. Everyone thinks that Jeffrey Epstein was the head of the snake. He was not, in my opinion. I feel like there was someone else, the head of the snake, that someone else was involved in the sex trafficking ring. I believe Jeffrey Epstein was just a middleman, to be honest with you, but he was just grooming and having sex with underage young girls. But there is someone else, the head of the snake, that don't want to be exposed. Because like I said, there's other men that was involved in the sex trafficking ring. Other men that were involved that they don't want their names to be released. They're trying to shut these people up, these victims up. They don't want them to speak up. But like I said, none of it makes sense to me whatsoever. I don't know who was involved in this. Pam Bundy, like I said, won't release the blacklist names of the people. I don't know why she's not arresting them. If the FBI know who they are, I don't know if they cut a plea deal for these people to walk away. I just don't understand this. It's just very disgusting. It's just very disgusting. These were underage girls, okay? And I feel like they prey on the underage girls, that they were runaways, or they've been through sexually abused, or they had problems at home. They take the thrill of that. They can sense that, and when they know that they've been going through stuff, underage girls, they take advantage of it and use their trust, try to build their trust to break them down, and then sexually assault them and abuse them and sex trafficking them. Pardon me. And it's utterly disgusting. And the FBI is sitting on this. Bundy, excuse me, sitting on this as evidence. And what is she doing? What is she doing? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. When are these men who were involved going to take accountability? When are they going to go to prison? This is just sickening to me. Sickening that it's been months and we still have not heard anything about Jeffrey Epstein case. Nothing. Crickets. Crickets. And I'm just appalled by it. And I just wanted to say that to you guys. So again, let me know your thoughts about this video. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.